If you have a very short attention span, I'm going to do a real quick once over so you can move on to watching Does Size Matter videos or whatever the fuck you're into. So RPNVG, you'd probably like this if you spent 2 days researching night vision and you already think you're smarter than everybody. Yeah, this one's for you. The original 3D printed Katana. If you play a lot of obscure computer games, this one's probably for you. This is a Katana R. If you play cool computer games, this one's for you. This is a Manticore R. If you play first-person shooters, this one's for you. The Daisho, if you have a wife that questions every one of your expenses and you have to come up with very creative ways to justify spending money, this one's for you. DTNVS, if you're on a budget and you just cannot stop watching cinematic CQB videos, this one's for you. If you're not on a budget and you can't stop watching cinematic CQB videos, then this one's for you. NVG-40, just don't. Plain and simple. Under no circumstances is it ever okay to use one of these. This video is really going to be intended for people that are just getting into the market and they're overwhelmed with all of these choices. So these are in no particular order. I might jump around a little bit, so forgive me. I'm going to go back to stage right and start with the RPNVG. This product was kind of a follow-on of the very popular RNVG. It was very big a few years ago because of its price point. The housings retailed for right around $1,200. They're nearly indestructible, and it was really the easiest way to get into night vision. It was also very easy for small-time builders to assemble at home. This basically just takes that concept of 2 pods on a fixed bridge to the next level. Is that a good level? I don't know. I'll let you be the judge, but it allows you to pan the pods out like that and get more field of view. I'm not a huge fan of this, but you know, this is a hill that people seem to be willing to die on, so I'm not gonna berate them too much. But yeah, this is what it does. It's still fairly indestructible. It's made out of, I don't know if it's 60, 61 or 70, 75. I don't know. Everything that AB Night Vision builds is like, it's a brick shit house. Like all the aluminum is thicker than it needs to be. Everything's chunky. These are cool. One thing to note on these, the bridge is very wide to accommodate the pods coming out and then panning like that. You've got to have a little bit more room on either side of the dovetail for those pods to travel. So it makes it kind of tricky to fit this thing into pouches or boxes that were designed for other binocular night vision systems. Not a big deal, but it's something, so I'm going to say it. The RNVG, or as I'm holding here, the RNVG variable gain. These are cool if you just like simplicity. The variable gain adds a little level of complexity, but it's pretty simple. Got an on-off switch here and then a tactile gain knob with several gain settings. It's not as many as I would like, but they're there. It's better than no gain. So I don't know how many of these we have. If I don't have any in stock and you really want one of these, I can get you one pretty quickly. But we do have the regular RNVGs in stock pretty much at all times. It's a solid, inexpensive, indestructible option for people that are interested in those kind of things. To take all of that thought process or school of thought a step further and add articulation, we have the RNVG-A. I really feel like all of the AB night vision stuff is designed or is made with the intention of like Marines to use it. It's super simple and it's super durable. And I think making it this color was a bold choice because they're probably going to eat it. At any rate, the articulation is nice and firm. It has independent pod cutoff, so when you flip one of the pods up, that pod is off. How important is this? I don't know, but it's a nice feature to have. when you want to leave your night vision stowed like this in front of your face instead of flipped up on top of your helmet, and ensure those are off. So other than that, it's got an IR illuminator, on-off switch. That's about it. It's really simple, straight to the point, super durable. The Katana, there are still some of these available. I don't know if they're like making them. Eventually these are going to go away. They're still out there though. You can still buy them. This has become a good option to save a little bit of money. It is still the 3D printed process of manufacturing. It's much more complicated than the 3D printer you have sitting on your counter at home. But these are relatively no thrills. No IR illuminator. Everyone that we sell here at Custom Night Vision will have the LEMO port for remote power, so that's cool. But it takes a single CR123 right here in the front. It takes standard 18mm tubes, PVS 14 optics, just like just about everything else up on the table. Independent pod cutoff and a lifetime warranty. So straight to the point, no extra thrills. This is the Katana R, very similar to the same thing, but now this is a CNC machined aluminum housing. Still the same feature set, power port here in the bottom for remote power, single CR123 up front, push button activation, I forgot to mention on there. These push buttons are very similar to like what you would get on a mod light or a Surefire handheld flashlight. So it feels nice, tactile, familiar. It's cool. Other than that, independent pod cutoff, just like the other ones, and a lifetime warranty. So straight to the point. You'll see kind of a theme. A lot of these goggles are built with a feature set laid out to address a market segment, if that makes sense. This is the Manticore R, very similar to the Katana R. The pods are identical. How the Manticore R differs from the Katana R is they incorporate manual gain and push button controls. You've got a push button, on-off button, an IR illuminator, and a plus and minus for your manual gain adjustment. These are pretty neat. Still takes a CR123 in the front, and it has a power port there in the bottom for remote battery pack utilization. This guy here, the Daisho, as I talked about in my brief intro, this is a neat product because if you already own one of these guys and you want to get binos, this just offers you a little bit easier way to get into binos without having to pull your tube out of that, find another tube, optics, housing, etc. You can save up, buy another Tanto, or send it to us. We'll match your tube and put it in another Tanto, and then put them both on this bridge. So essentially what this thing allows you to do is have two individual Tantos you can use as binoculars on two separate helmets. And then you can put them on and off of this bridge. As long as they stay on the same side they were originally collimated on, they will maintain their collimation within mil standard. So within this bridge they have the, the provision for independent pod cutoff. When we build these out, there's a little magnet that we glue in this pocket here, and that makes that function. But just like the other Nocturn devices, single CR123 up front with a push button on off and a power port in the bottom. Lifetime warranty as well. This is the LLUL21, really the first product offering from Low Light Innovations. This thing is not unlike some of the Nocturn product offerings, but where it differs is it does not have onboard power. It is remote power only. That makes this goggle one of the, at the time, the lightest on the market. But there wasn't really anything comparable as far as not having an onboard power supply or a way to actually utilize onboard power. It's pretty rough. I think this is one of the original ones. They've since been updated with an aluminum dovetail. Nothing wrong with it. Straight to the point. It's strictly focused on being the lightest weight housing that they could manufacture at the time. So, you know, these are still out there. You can still buy those. They're nice. If this suits your needs, then you're probably going to like it a lot. the MH1, we just finished a video on this. This is probably, in my opinion, the best full-featured goggle out right now. It needs to be revised a little bit, but nothing that's has to be done. Just more or less creature comforts. This has manual gain. It has IR illuminators, an onboard battery. It does not have a provision for remote power yet. I'm told that's in the future. The coolest part about this housing is how the tubes interface with the PCB or the bridge itself. We don't have to modify the tubes with these little stick-on pad adapter things to make them work inside of here. We can use the factory supplied pigtails on L-bit and L3 tubes to plug right into this bridge and have fully functional manual gain just as it was intended in a PVS 14. So is that a big deal? Not really, but there are some customers out there that don't like modifying their intensifier tubes to interface with different housings. I will tell you personally, it's not a big deal, but it is kind of cool. The DTNVS, this housing was hugely popular 3 or 4 years ago. It's still a great housing. For full transparency, you know, I haven't never had a lot of serious issues with these. I will say they do not collimate as well as some of the other goggles. Are you going to be able to tell? Absolutely not. But, you know, I'm just going to give you my 100% honest opinion. I don't know if it's tolerances inside the actual pods themselves that the tubes need to be shimmed because they have the freedom to move around before they're locked down. At any rate, the DTNVS has an onboard illuminator. It has an onboard CR123. It does not have the provision for remote power. There are some third-party companies that make adapters so that you can run like an Anvis-style battery pack. If you're into that thing, they're out there. Google it. What else? The DTNVS, well, DTNVG really, I think, was the first housing to incorporate the independent pod cutoff. So that feature set that I was talking about on some of the other goggles, when you flip one pod up, it will kill power to that pod while it is no longer in front of your eye. It's kind of a cool feature. Is it necessary? I don't know, but it does make it easier to sell your goggle when you have that feature, because everybody can imagine like, oh, one day when I have a thermal rifle optic, I'm just going to flip that up. And then, yeah, what you don't realize is the whole night vision device is still in your way anyway. You're going to flip it up. So trust me from personal experience. Acton Black continued with the same architecture. Really, I mean, it looks almost exactly the same, but now they've added manual gain functionality to the DTNVS. I think the technical name is V2. We call it the MG. This uses a similar stick-on pad solution to allow the tube the ability to interface with the housing. This is what it looks like. Currently, these are only available for L3 tubes. As you'll see here, it has these little lantern plugs that plug into the top of an L3 tube, and then this folds down and sticks on the side. It's super easy, super straightforward installation, but it is deviating from the factory supplied pigtail. One thing I will say is that their pads, this little adapter system, is made by Litton. So if you're new to night vision, Litton is a company that's been around for a long time in the night vision space. I think they used to make intensifier tubes or parts for intensifier tubes. So they know what they're doing. This isn't some guys making it at their house. Like, all the parts are very high quality. We've had really good luck with these. Yeah, and a lot of these housing I'm talking about, like even ones that have been out for a couple years, for all intents and purposes, that's still a pretty new product if you put it into the scope of like electronics in general. You know, cameras and stuff like that. A 2 or 3 year old camera may not be, is not old by any means. And a lot of times they're going through firmware updates. They're having revisions during production. So I try to give all of these things, take them with a grain of salt. Okay, these are relatively small companies developing this stuff, and it's pretty incredible that we have this many products to offer, considering the kind of people that are involved, like me, retarded. making this stuff. Where do I want to go next? I'll talk about these because they're ridiculous. This is like something you hang on your wall, man. These are cool. They don't work that great. It's really heavy. I think they were intended for helicopter pilots so they could fit behind a visor or something.
It reminds me of the guys from Labyrinth, the movie.
Yeah.
With like knives and everything.
Yeah. It's like it's weird. So these have like a, I don't know if it's a collimator or something like in a PVS 7, but it's like a series of mirrors inside of here. You look through this thing, but the intensifier tube is over here. And what it did, what they're accomplishing is it made the overall night vision package shorter. So are these a viable option? Yeah, I mean, it is night vision, it works. I think all of them have generation 3 tubes in them, but the optical system kind of limits its performance. I wouldn't recommend buying one of these unless you have every other night vision device you would ever want. And this becomes just kind of a collector's piece or a conversation piece. I think that's how they ended up here. Anyway, we get questions about those. So there's that. 31 alphas. I mean, I can't really say anything bad about the device itself and its performance. The optics are very good. Are they way better than mil-spec optics or RPO? No, they're not. I don't care what you say. It's very similar. Yeah, there's not just a giant improvement in optical clarity with these. The optics are very good. They do not have an adjustable diopter. So if you require vision aids or whatever, glasses, contacts, whatever you call it, you're either going to have to wear those corrective lenses or you're going to have to try to track down the clip-on, snap-on diopters that adjust this to your prescription. I do like the objective lenses on 31 alphas and GPNVGs. Just something about the way they feel is very nice. They're easy to turn and they seem to stay in place. The infinity focus stop is easy to set. On these, they are glued in place. A lot of the stuff with the L3 finished goods, let me reiterate that. This is an L3 finished good. We do not build this in-house. This comes from L3 Harris in a bag, sealed up with data sheets, and all of these little screws are epoxied in place. So is that a good thing? Maybe. What that does mean is if you break this, you have to send it back to L3 and ask the Kingsmen to fix the King's night vision and hope they don't charge you too much. So it is what it is. We love L3, we sell their tubes, but there are some notable drawbacks to going this route or the next one on the table, the 1531. I will say that L3 does not match their tubes with the same level of intention as we do. It's very common for me to see a 2 to 3 point swing in SNR. The gain to be on both ends of the spectrum. You might have like a 61,000 on one side and like a 68 on the other, which to me is wild, but that can be expected when you buy 31 alphas. And you're going to, not expected, but it's going to happen. And you're going to spend an additional $3,000 to $4,000, we'll call it $3,000, to get these over something like this, which with RPO glass and L3 tubes, it accomplishes the same thing. This has a lifetime warranty. We can service it in-house. This has essentially no warranty. You have to send it off to get fixed. Do you see where I'm going with this? Okay, so these things are almost exactly the same, but instead of using the proprietary 31 alpha optics in the 31 alpha, the 1531 uses a PVS 14 style optic that we're all familiar with. So you've got your standard PVS 14 style objectives, standard PVS 14 style adjustable diopter, +2 to -7, just like we're used to. And it's all put together on essentially the same bridge. If I didn't mention it, 31 alphas are manual gain, 1531s are manual gain. Both finished goods from L3, both only come with L3 tubes, surprise, surprise. One main difference between these two, the 1531 comes with an IR illuminator, and the remote power port is different. So on the 31 Alpha, it's right here on the side. And I think the 1531 came later because this is a smart change. If you've ever used 31 Alphas or 1431s for that matter, the power port is in such a way that when you plug your Fisher cable in here, you can no longer articulate the right pod all the way up. It will hit right there and it will not allow it to come all the way up. With the 1531s, they kind of fix that issue and they put the power port back here. Super simple, smart solution. Like that a lot. I'd like to have this bridge with those pods, ideally, but you know, they're never going to do that. What else is on the table? We talked a little bit about monoculars, but I'll go over it again. PVS 14, we sell these on our website in a myriad of different configurations. Just like all these devices, we offer them with all of the tube types available on the market for the most part. We've got Photonis, Photonis high gain, Elbit, a myriad of different part numbers there, white phosphor, still some green phosphor occasionally. We have L3 filmless standard gain and L3 filmless high gain. So that's, what is that, 5 different tube options. And then we have 3 or 4 different optic types. We've got mil-spec / Carson optics, RPO ultralight optics, and the Photonis boom slang. Pretty soon, I don't know if you caught this, but this is actually one of the Syntec objectives. Those are coming soon. We'll do a full video on that and do some more technical comparison between the Syntec and Carson and RPO. But really and truly, this objective is like almost a 1-to-1, just in my initial testing, replacement for like a Carson quality objective. It's just lighter weight. So like I said, you can buy this, was it 5 different tube types, 3 or 4 different optic types, and you can buy it with 2 different power supplies. We have the standard Carson power supply and then the Nightline lightweight digital power supply. So you can do a lot of stuff on our website with a PVS 14 and really kit it out the way you want. The other monocular option is the Tanto. These are cool. If you haven't seen these before, it's very similar to a PVS 14. It takes a single tube inside of it. PVS 14 style optics. Where it differs is it no longer has manual gain functionality and it no longer has an onboard IR illuminator. So what you get for giving that up is exceptional lightweight and an overall smaller package. It makes this, you know, ideal for running on a really lightweight helmet setup, or you know, putting it in a pocket, using it as a handheld monocular, or how we use them as we mount them on cameras to do different media stuff. It makes it very easy to use like a zoom lens or whatever without having it, you know, be ridiculously heavy out on the front of the camera. And finally, save the best for last. These are so good, man. This is the RNVG-VG. Like, cat's meow. Basically, this is like night vision that was made in a die-cast toy factory. Is like all I can think of.
Night vision at home. Yeah,
like if you had a really high-end train set in your attic, this was probably made at the same place in Ukraine. Is actually where these come from. The housing. I don't know where the optics come from, but they're not good. Pretty much everything. I don't think you can even collimate these, honestly. I've never been able to successfully collimate them. And the objective's weird. So yeah, just stay away from these. I know there's a few retailers online right now that are putting their own tubes in them and they're selling them for ridiculous amounts of money. I cannot believe it. And when I go try to get in the conversations about it on Facebook or wherever they're selling these, I am attacked. Like, you don't know what you're talking about. These guys only sell the highest tier night vision. I'm like, okay, all right, cool. So does that about cover everything in the night vision market? I think yes. Did I miss anything?
Nope.
Panos? I mean, yeah, if you want to talk about those, if you're in the market for panos, give me a call. I'll do a video just for you. I may not wear pants. It just depends on how much money you have. All right. Thank you for watching. If you have any other questions, get at us, call us, email us, hit our social medias, the Instagram, Facebook. We're always active on those. Reddit, Trevor's in there just fighting off the demons. Oh my God, Trevor. And Reddit, I feel so bad for you. And get down in the comments, man. Go say something ridiculous. If you made it to the end of this video and you comment first, find a way to contact me. Send me a screenshot of you being the first comment in the YouTube comments. Hit me up on Instagram at KevlarH88 and I'll send you a shirt. And subscribe to our channel. We want subscribers. Duh. Like, we're trying to grow this channel. It makes it easier for us to do this instead of building night vision all day. As always, thank you for watching. Have a great day.